Many of them are killed by governments allied with the United States. How did that happen? We'll investigate what is happening to Christians in the Middle East after the break. The American invasion of Iraq was sold to America as a chance to bring democracy, freedom, and pluralism to the Middle East. Instead, for Iraq's ancient Christian community, which was large and thriving, it brought death and persecution. Today, Iraq's Christian community is a tiny fraction of what it was in 2003. Nobody ever says it, but it's true. What happened in Iraq is now happening in countries across the region and around the world. A new report warns that in many places, treatment of Christians is approaching the level of genocide. Juliana Taimoorazy is the president of the Iraqi Christian Relief Council and a senior fellow of the Philos Project. She joins us tonight. Thank you very much for coming on tonight. So give us a sense, because it's one of those subjects that nobody in this country covers, as you know, of how the Christian community in Iraq is doing 16 years after the invasion.
During 2003, we were 1.5 million. Today, the Assyrians, Chaldeans, and Syriacs have been reduced to barely 200,000 people. Many of them are suffering from trauma. Many have lost everything in terms of businesses, their homes, their churches have been destroyed. And many of them are losing hope because really their own community is unable to protect themselves. They are at the mercy of either the Kurdish regional government or the Iraqi government. And we know, and you know, Tucker, Iranian influence now is skyrocketing throughout the Nineveh Plain, which is extremely worrisome. So
of the many figures in the United States who pushed that war haven't said anything that I've seen about basically the death of the entire Christian community in Iraq. And American churches have also remarkably said virtually nothing about it. Why is that, do you think?
We're trying to be politically correct. We're not being bold to stand in the face of this. And frankly, what we have been going through since 2003 and 4 is nothing new. Our community in the Middle East, we Christians have faced this for over 1,500 years. And I believe, Tucker, what has pushed this more, at least a little bit more, the world is talking about this, is because of the savagery of ISIS was put on display through social media. So social media has become a dangerous medium for radicals who want to use it.
Yeah, it would be nice, though, if Bill Kristol or Max Boot or John Bolton, for that matter, would apologize, I think. So you were recently in Iraq, and you brought back photographs that illustrate the condition of Christians. So we're going to put some on the screen. What are we looking at now?
Well, we are looking at the church that was blown up in Mosul, St. George. We are looking at a series of the businesses that have been destroyed, homes that have been completely destroyed, schools are destroyed, Tucker. So there are, the community has been really, the fiber of the community is destroyed. Out of 1.5 million that are barely 200,000 left today, genocide really is not just about spilling blood. It is really destroying our community, our history. Our history is thousands of years old before Christianity. And today we are really left to fend for ourselves. Very little help is starting to come from the U.S. And the world frankly, has turned a blind eye, the church as well as other governments, which is really sad to see.
It's shocking. Finally, I have to ask you about Syria. The Assad family, whatever you think of the Assad family, presided over a country in which Christians had space to worship and were not killed. What's the situation now for Christians in that country?
Just a few years ago, out of 1.7 million, we are down. The Christians in Syria are down to 450,000. The Syrian community is split. Some are pro-Assad, some are against Assad. Basically, the Christians in the Middle East are looking to see how they can rebuild their lives, how they can live in peace. Because what happens, persecution really looks different in different parts of the world. Some places, social media is used to provoke radical Islamists. In other places, the country is exporting terrorism like Iran. So I think our government really needs to step up, be bold, and take the right measures. And we as American people should not put someone who is anti-Semitic with anti-Semitic rhetoric in Congress, because remember, Tucker, it's first Saturday people, then it's Sunday people.
Yeah. Christians in the Middle East should be a concern. Those are our allies in the Middle East, and they should be a concern for us, I think.
Indeed.
Thank you very much for the work you're doing on this.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity.